have had enough. I have had absolute enough. This is the last straw for me. I am not doing this shit anymore. There was a time where wearing the Real Madrid crest on your chest was everything. There was a time when you wore the Real Madrid white shirt and you had an honor about you. It was an honor. But now it's absolutely finished. That isn't the case anymore. And that's because of these individuals. And they need to go now. And look, I wasn't planning to make this video. I wasn't planning to have these emotions come out before the seasons have even started. But I'm done with these lot. I am done with their bullshit. Enough is enough. This is Real Madrid, the biggest club of all time. This is the biggest club in history. The biggest club in the world. These idiots are treating it like it's just any ordinary club. And I am not gonna have it. And you're not gonna see this on this channel. I ain't gonna fall for this bullshit. And the first part of this story is an absolute disgrace. For context, Pepe Alvarez from the X has some sort of connections inside Real Madrid. This is a guy that confirmed many months ago about Diamonde. This is a guy who confirmed about a lot of these different transfers. Now he came out with an announcement yesterday as this. Jude Bellingham's father, Mark Bellingham, went to the club at the end of this season, or last season just gone, and tried to discuss a possible departure. This guy, Mark Bellingham, to quote him, went to Real Madrid reportedly and said he wants Jude to leave the club due to the club structure of hierarchy or something like that. Some absolute bullshit. This guy has gone behind everybody like a sneaky little person that he is, and he has gone to the club and tried to get Jude to be sold, where the club told him he is not for sale. The club said Jude Bellingham is not for sale. Now my issue with this is, who is this guy? Who is this Mark Bellingham that gives him the right to go behind the scenes, to go to Florentino Perez or whoever it is and try to get his boy to be sold? This is Real Madrid. We don't do that shit around here. So what gives this guy the right to do this bullshit? Can someone explain that to me? Can someone explain this shit to me? What gives a guy the right to do it? And by the way, I had to research about Mark Bellingham. And guess what I found out? This guy's done the same at Dortmund. This guy done the same at Dortmund. Look at this. He has now Dortmund banned parents from attending games or training games, something like that. And that's because of the Jude Bellingham family. Because apparently his dad was unhappy about how much Job was playing for Dortmund, of course, his brother. And he's gone to try to speak to the sporting director, where apparently they had some heated words. So they had to ban, families arriving there. This is what this family is about. But hold on a second. That's for Borussia Dortmund, with all due respect. So this is what this family is about. By the way, this isn't the first story of Mark Bellingham going to Real Madrid's board. He did this earlier in the season. Reportedly, he was unhappy about Jude Bellingham playing deeper, not playing close to the goal, because of the way Xabi Alonso was playing Arda Güler. The way Xabi Alonso was playing Arda Güler, he didn't like it. So Jude Bellingham went to his dad, and his dad went to the club, and that's the same bullshit. Now let me also remind you that Jude Bellingham was one of the players who got Xabi Alonso out of the door. Now he didn't physically get him out the door, but with his discontent towards Xabi Alonso and his unwillingness to listen to Xabi Alonso, same with the other two players we can mention later, he was one of them. He was one of them. Now this is one of the characters, the biggest, highest paid player for our club. This is the superstar of our club. This is an absolute disgrace. Enough is enough. This shit should not be allowed at this club. And we can talk about why this is being allowed. Why is Florentino Perez allowing this bullshit? Why is he allowing this behavior to be accepted? It's absolutely unbelievable. But let's get on to the second story of the night yesterday. Pepe Alvarez also said this, that Real Madrid and Jose Mourinho have not made Vini untouchable. That they haven't made him untouchable in the sense that they will allow him to leave if an offer comes, because they're not going to budge on the contract offer. Apparently, now this is my issue, Vinicius Jr wants 80 million signing bonus. 80 million just to sign. Not to go to a different club. Mbappé was given more than 100 plus million, by the way, when he signed for Real Madrid because he was a free transfer. Most free transfers, they do have a signing bonus on there. So like, for example, Rudiger came to Real Madrid, Trent came to Real Madrid, Mbappé came to Real Madrid, David Alba came to Real Madrid, Konate came to Real Madrid. Usually, when there's a free transfer, because clubs are not going to go to other clubs and negotiate, they do sometimes, well, most of the time, give a signing on bonus. This guy isn't a free transfer. Vini Jr. isn't a free transfer. And do you know who I blame? Rock Nation. These absolute filth, right? Since they have been with Vini Jr., this contract renewal hasn't been accepted. They want 30 million a year. They then reduce it to 25 million a year, but also a renewal bonus. And not just that, Pepe Alvarez also says that they want 80% of his image rights. Now look, I don't know the figures of what it is currently. I think it's about 50-50, where Vinicius Jr takes 50 of his sponsorship, rights, whatever, and Real Madrid take the 50% of the other side, right? Apparently he wants 80% of his image rights and also 80 million signing bonus. Is this guy on something? Is Rock Nation on something? Who did these lot think they are? And the fact that this gets allowed and even gets entertained, I would have kicked Vinicius Jr out the minute I received the counter offer from Rock Nation and Vini Jr.'s camp that they want 80 million. I would have kicked him out of the door. I would have kicked him out of this door. How dare he? How dare he, when he's got the honour of playing for Real Madrid and you're asking for this much money when you've had two absolutely shocking seasons from his standards. If this was asked after the 24 season, after Real Madrid won the Champions League and he was a favourite for the Ballon d'Or, you know what? You can have a case for him. 80 million signing on bonus is ridiculous anyway, but you can make a case that, look, he should be earning same as Mbappé, right? I'm not denying that. 80 million signing bonus. It's a fucking disgrace. It's a fucking disgrace. Say how it is. And let me just remind you of what Vini Jr. also did in this season. The way he threw a bitch fit to get Xabi Alonso sacked as well. These are the characters we want in the team. This is the characters that Real Madrid are sat here and pleading for him to sign his renewal so he doesn't go to Arsenal. Send him to Arsenal now. I will pack his bag for him. Off he goes. I don't want individuals like this at my club. If you don't want to sign for the club, you don't want to accept the terms, then off you go. Off you go. Now apparently Arsenal came out and said that they are ready to do whatever. They are ready to offer 400k plus and whatever. Now interestingly, there's also another reason why you can see him going to Arsenal, because in England, apparently they don't do this image rights. It's only in Spain. So he would keep 100% of his image rights, as he's asking for 80% of Real Madrid, which of course means he wouldn't have to ask for that much salary because he would make that up in his image rights, sponsorships, whatever. So look, whether that happens or not, I couldn't care less. I don't want individuals like this at my club who's asking for 80 million signing on bonus, asking for record-breaking salary where he doesn't even, it's not even justified. And then on top of that, he then wants to go and do up renewal. He then wants to go up and behave like he did because he was a substitute for Xabi Alonso. I can't stand it. And last but not least, let's move on to the dictator himself. The one that should not be named, because this guy has been an absolute toxic for this club. Let me tell you about. He joined the club where the club was winning. He's then had 2 years of back-to-back trophyless seasons where he himself has done absolutely nothing but score goals. He doesn't do anything in the big games. And just look at his behaviour. Look at the quotes that he came out with this season when he faked injuries to then go and post stories like this. When Real Madrid were losing the El Clasico, he faked his injury to go to holiday with his girlfriend, and he was sat there just so he could be fresh for the World Cup. Just so he could be fresh for the World Cup. This is a guy who's the highest paid earner from the club. This is a guy who Real Madrid fans say is the best player in the world. This is who Florentino Perez got rejected for years and years and years, and he's still, look at him. Look at the fact, look at what he still does for this guy. Gave him the highest salary, gave him renewal, gave him the highest kind of signing on bonus as well, probably in the history of football. Not just that, and then when Arbeloa then benched Mbappé because he wasn't fit and Real Madrid were winning games, look at what this course he came out with to say. Look what he came up with. Look at his face. Look at his attitude. This is what is being accepted within the club. How dare he say things like this? How dare he come out with things like this out of his mouth about that he's behind Gonzalo, he's behind Franco, taking the piss out of them. Taking the absolute piss out of them when all they've done is work for him. Look at some of the stats that he brings up in terms of his defensive contributions. He does nothing for the club. Can any Real Madrid fans right now tell me a game where Mbappé has won us the game where we needed it? Every big game, he's a loser. Every big game, he scores goals, but he loses the game. And he talks like he's CR7 regen. These guys are done. These guys are all toxic for this footballing club. And look at Jude Bellingham and Mbappe's relationship right now. They avoid each other on the pitch. They avoid each other at the World Cup. We've seen the strain. So Real Madrid have got a huge job and Mourinho has got a massive, massive job. But these three individuals, they just need to be gone. They need to be gone. Why is this shit being allowed? This is Real Madrid FC, for fuck's sake. The biggest club of all time. Florentino Perez has gone soft, bro. Florentino Perez has gone soft. The fact that he's trying to accept this Vini renewal bullshit. When Ramos wanted more money, they effed him off. Ronaldo wanted more money, they effed him off. Di Maria wanted more money, they effed him off. Ozil wanted more money, they got rid of him as well. So where is that, ruthlessness of Fiorentino Perez is gone? He's made signings now because the club has taken over. The board has taken over. He didn't want Rodri, so then the board had to get involved and say, listen, no, we need him. He didn't want Bernardo Silva. He didn't want Cucurella. But Real Madrid said, you know what, no, we need him. So why is the club not getting involved in this? This is absolute poison. And I've been a Real Madrid fan for 20 plus years. How big of a superstar you are, how much, sponsorships you have, how many followers you have on Instagram. Like, I give a fuck. Yeah? I'm telling you now, I'm not having players like this at my club. And this is why I can never accept Mbappé. Because he's just a selfish individual. Jude Bellingham and his family are toxic. They go behind the club's back. They go behind the president's back. Or go to the president, behind the teammates. And they go and complain. Like I said, the apple don't fall far from the tree. That Jude Bellingham was also one of the reasons why Xabi Alonso got sacked. And Vinicius Jr and Rock Nation and their little, filthy agency. I just don't trust people like this and how much money they're asking for. And it's just absolutely pathetic. Listen, I don't want people like this at Real Madrid. They have tarnished the club. They have tarnished the crest. And enough is enough. So listen, let me know your thoughts in the comments. That was just my raw, uncut, feelings about how Real Madrid have just been falling with these shocking individuals, these spoiled brats and organisations and families. I'm absolutely sick of it. Guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Do you agree with exactly what I'm saying or not? Or do you have any alternative kind of opinions? Barcelona, what are your thoughts? Of course, you guys don't have this problem with egos, but of course, do you have any sort of alternate opinions as well? And of course, as always, guys, don't forget to like and subscribe. And until next time, hello, Madrid.